Hey guys, we're back for round 3, our final round of the Hall of Fame Classic. This is Paige Pierce.
And this is Elaine King. We're here to bring you the back nine of the Ed Hedrick Hall of Fame Classic National Tour.
This is sponsored by the PDGA and Dynamic Disc. And not only is the PDGA covering this, we're on their property, so it's pretty cool. And this crowns the National Tour finale, so the points are tight and every placement matters, so we'll see what happens. As of that front nine, the scores are getting pretty tight.
They certainly were. We found that you and Kat were tied for the lead.
Yeah, and so moving into hole 10, it's a par 4. This one, see those 3 trees right in the center of the fairway? You're going to want to pick either left or right. Really, either way works out. It's just your preference where you want to land. And then the second shot is going to be slightly downhill to the basket, and it's quite guarded, honestly.
Yeah, and it's a repeating theme on this course. You can throw the first shot where you want to, and then your second shot, you have to pick your gap and make sure you hit it.
So at this point in the round, I'm 3 strokes back of Catrina, so I got a little bit of work to do. I'm trying to get myself a ways down there to have a look at birdie, but it hyzers out into the shul on the left.
And Hokom throws a lovely sidearm. It hyzers back, hits the tree, and actually that was pretty good because that leaves her on the left side.
Yeah. And she's only 2 strokes behind me, and she's playing super hot. Her putt looks good. She's making some long ones. So, you know, at this point, it's still anybody's game. And like we said, there's a lot on the line.
Kat had great placement. And I just threw the best shot of my life on this hole.
With your vanish right past those 3 trees that we talked about. So she doesn't even have to pick left or right of them. She's already passed them.
Okay, and Kat has a nice sidearm. She progresses well down the fairway.
That was a great shot with her F2. She's when she pulls that out on a sidearm, she's typically hitting that angle pretty perfectly.
And Hokom, again, really good progression down the fairway. I'm on tree roots again, and I'm standing still, but I pulled it a bit too much. I think I was trying too hard to get too far.
Sometimes that happens after a good drive. You just really want to, capitalize.
And again, sidearm, the second shot of choice for 3 out of 4 of our lead card. Now, I was in a tight position there, and unfortunately, I hit a tree and I knocked into the shul again. And, hit a little bit high, so I'm not having a good hole.
Yeah, once you get off the fairway on these holes, it's kind of hard to find it again.
And Kat just laying up there. I'll take my 4. Thank you very much.
Stress-free pars, the way to go, I'm telling you. Good attempt. That was honestly really close.
Oh, just so short. Just barely short of the 3.
Yeah, and I connect for a par here. I'm happy with the par. It's a pretty hard hole to birdie, I would say. Lots of trees late in the fairway. Catrina waiting on a runner. Remember that guy running by?
Yeah. He was a absolute runner. He was
could
definitely
hear him.
very fit.
You could hear him before you could see him.
Yeah, and I ended up taking a 6 on this hole, which I was not pleased about. So I'm feeling a little bit steamed at this point.
We're moving on to hole 11. This is another one of the new holes. It's 420 feet par 3. It's one of the more open tee shots, I would say. There's not as many trees in the fairway, so you're just going to want to take this line that the camera's falling down on an Anheuser angle and just stall out towards the basket.
Yeah, I think for most people in the FPO division, they're looking at a 3. If you are a strong thrower, a 2 is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm throwing my Sheriff here, putting an Anheuser angle, but it hits that leaf or shrubbage and kind of makes it hyzer out into the shul on the left.
You have not had a clean shot all
No,
round
I
on
haven't.
this.
And in practice, I was putting it inside the circle, so I was kind
Yep.
of upset about that.
And Hokom put it just a little bit too much of an angle.
On the right side, Catrina doesn't turn it quite enough, and she's going to be on the left side, kind of where I am.
And I was just trying to do an easy Anheuser shot down the middle. Take
Which you
my
did,
3.
right in the middle. Catrina with an approach.
And this is a little uncharacteristic. That was
Yeah.
a short shot.
Kind of the only tree she had to miss, and she even commented on that. So unfortunate error, especially when there's only 3 strokes separating us, but, you know, lots can happen still. And she might even still be able to hit that putt. It looks about circle 2. I don't have much of a line here. And to top that off, I completely overturned my wrist and leave myself with quite a long look for par.
Yeah, Kat missing her putt. You've got quite a long putt there. A really great attempt, but
Yeah.
you didn't connect with metal.
Yeah, it was chain height, just a little bit left, and left myself with about a 20-footer or so.
Yeah, and Sarah, that was a big
This
putt.
was a huge putt. This was a huge putt. She took the string out again on this one, and about a step outside the circle, and you can see she's really good at that distance. I think she's one of the best putters in, 1 to 2 steps outside the circle.
Yeah, and again, taking just a little bit of time to make sure I got this in. I was a little shaken after my 6 on the previous hole, so it was nice to get a 3. Oh, Paige, what happened?
Yeah, I thought I made it, but just obviously left it a little short, and I'm gonna double bogey a hole that I feel as though I should be having a birdie attempt on. I'm very unhappy at this point.
I think you had that a bit nose down.
Nose down. Yeah, I could see that. It came out and it felt good. Just hit the pin.
This is a genuine par 5.
This is such a beautiful hole. I would say the signature hole. You're gonna see the stump right there. That's where, in an ideal world, we are trying to land. If you land there, you can absolutely get a birdie, but it does still take a hard shot.
Now, the drone is going down the left side, which is not the side you want to go down. You want to go down the right side, which is much wider and more forgiving.
Yeah, double the width, I would say, if not more. So, like I said, you want to land at that stump. We're all going to have different ways to attempt to do so.
And I think that's the only bad shot I saw all round of Sarah's.
Bad, yeah. She even asked if she could have a mulligan.
She did. I was pretty pleased with my release, but I hyzered it a bit too much, and unfortunately, I'm in that cluster of trees.
Yeah, Elaine's trying to go up that right side, which I took a note out of your book and tried as well. Kat actually is going with turnover angle on her D1. She turns it a bit much, but hits that tree and gets a fortunate kick towards the stump.
And she's taken the Anheuser route all 3 rounds.
Yeah, she's made it look pretty good. Like I said, I'm trying that gap that Elaine's going for. I just pulled it a tiny bit wide, and I got a good kick, so I'm in that sunspot right there, but got a little work to do.
I was pretty happy with the shot. I thought I had absolutely nailed it, but unfortunately it hit, I'm not even sure what tree, and it kicked it to that left fairway, which was not my design.
I'm looking at a very routine Anheuser shot, and I don't give it enough height, so it finds the ground too quick and kind of rolls over towards that left gap that Elaine's speaking of.
Yeah, and Hokom has an awkward shot, but she gets a really nice throw out there, and she can now proceed down the right fairway if she so chooses.
A sidearm thrower, though, she might end up going the left gap. We don't know.
And Kat had a great drive. It landed in a good spot. She took the right fairway, leaves her lots of options.
Yeah, Hokom does go left side. This is, she landed in the perfect spot where she could choose, but being a forehand dominant player, she, of course, goes left side.
Yep, your second shot landed you absolutely in the middle. And again, I think, were you trying to just absolutely crank that down to the
I was trying to
basket?
get to the basket, absolutely. At this point in the round, being down 4, I know that's a shot I'm fully capable of. I just completely late released it. That shot was actually good, just came out late. I think if I released it at the right time, it was going to get to the basket.
Yeah, I was pretty happy that I got into the ditch
Yeah, it was a cool
on that
skid.
shot.
Skidded on down there.
It was a bit low, but it did the job.
I'm left with about a 225-foot approach. I'm throwing my classic blend Marshall and getting about to that ditch that Elaine was just talking about. The shot was crazy.
Yeah,
Overhand through the trees. Great shot with her Firebird, and she got herself a little outside of circle too.
and Kat throwing her third shot round about that ditch.
Yeah, she's played this hole very clean. She hits this putt, she's going to take a par. Or, I'm sorry, if she hits this putt, she's going to take a birdie, and she'll be taking strokes on all of us.
I was thrilled to hit my putt for a 5. I don't think I've ever played this hole in less than a 5.
Wow, I did not know that. And Kat does connect. She takes a birdie, and like I said, she's going to be taking some strokes, and late in the round, it's pretty crucial.
And was that a 5 for you?
Yes, it was. This is a par, so she's going to take another stroke on me, and I'm going to be down by 5 going into this last 6 holes.
5 for the round, but
Yeah.
overall, you're down a couple.
No, I'm down, 6 strokes at this point.
Oh,
Yeah. And we are on to hole 13, which is definitely birdieable. I would say this is one of the few holes that we can be twoing. If you see this tree that's in the middle of the fairway, it's kind of white and skinny. We want to kind of throw an anhyzer towards that and just miss it on the left side, and we'll have a look at birdie. The basket has a cool little feature of a bunch of like mounds.
and Kat's been very consistent all weekend, but this one, she turned over a little bit, threw it a little
did.
bit low. Again, she's been commenting on that.
Yeah, it just hit a tree and kicked even farther to the right, so she's going to have a little bit of a scramble from there.
And I was a bit wide with my shot.
I'm throwing my Peter McBride EMAC Truth and putting a little angle on it. It hyzers out because it's in the moonshine plastic, so it has a little bit of stability at the end. And I'm close to pin high, but maybe 60, 70 feet on the left.
And there we've got one shot that flies true. Down the fairway, no tree hits.
Great shot by Sarah.
I was
What is this disc? It's
This is the theory. So this
Theory.
is a understable mid, and it got me close enough that I'm on the base of the mound.
awesome. Catrina going with a Stolly sidearm. I believe this is her A2. She kind of clenched her body as if she thought it was going in. She put that stall on it, hoping for a run at it.
And that was a really great deuce attempt by Hokom. Just missed ever so slightly. And you're going for the deuce.
I thought it was great, but it was longer than I thought it was.
Well, that uphill plays into
Yeah,
it,
it
doesn't it? It
really
makes
does.
it longer than it seems.
It really does.
And I was
That was a beautiful
really happy to get my 3. I felt like this was a bit of a scramble.
That was a beautiful putt. And Catrina
Boom.
connects for the par. We're running out of holes to catch her. She's not really making many mistakes out here, and it's quite impressive on this hard of a course. It's, I think, one of the most challenging tracks that we play on all year.
Now, in round 2, we saw Kat just absolutely shred the back 9. Was that
Yes.
on your mind, Paige?
Yeah, it was a little bit, but more so just like me trying to minimize my mistakes, just because, you know, when someone's playing that hot, you never know what's going to happen. But if you can minimize your mistakes, at least you give yourself that opportunity. And so coming here on hole 14, it's a par 4. I think it's one of the most birdieable holes as far as it's open. There's not
Yeah.
as many trees in the fairway.
Yeah, you can see grass on the fairway,
Yeah,
which is
and it gets
unusual
hot
on this
about
course.
this hole. So you want, on your drive, you just want to throw a hyzer, a powerful hyzer, that just stalls out a little bit to the left where the thick trees are. And Kat is throwing her D1 and lands it absolutely perfect.
She got a great skip.
Absolutely perfect. She's going to be in a good position to attack for the birdie.
Yeah, I felt like I got my best drive on this hole. I was out in the open. Got a good distance.
I'm throwing my bio defender here.
Yeah, Paige, you're not rotating on this one. That's
Yeah.
unusual. You've been tending to over-rotate, if anything.
Yeah, I want to be on the left side, but not that much left. I actually ended up pretty good, but it's not the line I'm aiming for.
Hokom takes a pretty aggressive line. Since her discs fall to the right, she's got to get enough distance, and she just got by that whole stand of foliage. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I was not aiming at all in that direction.
Just a tiny bit of angle on
That
your
was
release.
like 30 degrees off. There, that's what you want to do. A sidearm, getting around the first stand of trees, leaving you in a good position to go for a long putt.
Catrina with her PA1, she's just gonna put this out wide on an angle up high and let it float down towards the basket. And she's inside the circle for a birdie. Look.
Absolutely. That's just see if you can get close. That was a lovely sidearm, but unfortunately there was a tree right towards the end.
Yeah,
I've
needed
got
it to be a little tighter.
I've got almost nothing there, so that was a hope and a prayer.
Yeah, it looks tight on that right side. And at this point, I realized my chances are getting smaller and smaller. I actually was trying to throw that one in, but left it a little bit short.
Okay, there's spin again. Was
Nice.
trying to save my 4, but unfortunately not. Ooh, almost a hat catch, but fumble.
There was so much action in that. Oh, and speaking of hat catches, let's see in the comments if you can guess how many times Elaine takes her hat on and off. Carrie wants to throw out that challenge to you guys.
Oh, people will be counting. I don't really like to wear a hat. My head overheats, but
There it is.
yeah, I have a hat on. But if I feel like the sun is going to be in my eyes, or if my hair is bothering me, I don't know if other women have that problem, that you have the wisps of hair that kind of bother you when you putt. So sometimes I put my hat on.
And we will be moving on to hole 15. It's another par 4. That's 543 feet. This one has a lot of elevation. You go downhill off the tee, and then right about there, you start going uphill again to right about this sunspot, and then it starts going downhill again to the basket. So lots of elevation in play.
And I think the play is to try and land to the left off the tee, not the way this drone is flying, but to get more to the left because it's a little bit more open. But again, if you anhyzer it, there is a right alley that you can go for. So Kat has chosen a really high line, not the line I choose, but she's been getting really good distance down the fairway.
Absolutely crushing this hole with her X3. She's just throwing an overstable glidey disc and putting a lot of anhyzer on it. So I kind of copied her, and I said it out loud. And she said, "Oh, copycat." But I don't give mine enough height, so I'm just right in the middle. But I'm actually pretty stoked about that.
Yeah, and we've got 3 really good fairway shots.
Hokom's going to be a little bit pinched on the left, but she has a great sidearm, and there's actually a secondary gap over there, so we'll see if she takes that.
Yeah, and I put a little bit too much turn on it, so I'm in a tough position, but I was really happy with my second shot, which I got up and over the hill, so I was actually in a position where I could see the basket.
Hokom does indeed take the left gap with the sidearm, and she should be getting down there about where the hill starts going downhill. Oh, she got a nice roll. We couldn't tell this from our angle. Shout out to the catch cam again. This is great footage.
That roll might be a bit farther than she would have liked.
Yeah, but she got down there close to pin high with the roll. I kind of had to step out because of those trees right in front of me and turned it a little much. I'm going to be on the right side with about circle 2 putt.
Now, Kat, I think that was a great shot. There was a lot of skinny trees, as you could see.
Yeah, she got down there. She has been crushing this hole in round 3. She even got even farther than she had the other rounds.
Yeah, a good try.
Yeah, a little too much hyzer on that one. If I would have turned it a little bit more like that, I think it would have went in. Hokom using the tree to catch herself.
I didn't notice that at the
either.
time.
And Catrina actually lays up. At this point, she has 6 strokes on me, and there's no real need to go for the putt, especially because she's going to be getting a stroke anyways.
Yeah, I overthrew my approach shot a little bit. I didn't take account of the extreme downhill. Sarah squeaking her putt over the rim just barely.
And me from about 20-25 feet.
Nice.
A little bit right, but it stuck. I was definitely thankful to that basket. It was one of those ones that could have.
Yeah, I put my putt in for a bogey. And
Catrina will take an easy par, and we'll
Yep.
move on. Shout out again to Dynamic Disc for the sponsorship of this footage, and also shout out to Peter McBride. I'm throwing that Moonshine Sparkle EMAC Truth on a lot on these holes. Actually, on this hole, hole 16. What do you throw on this one?
I'm throwing that beat up Vanish on this hole. Trying to get it just as the camera's flying to the right there. Trying to hopefully turn it over and land somewhere on this flat ground. And as you can see, the basket's uphill all the way, and then there is a ditch just behind the basket that makes putting kind of testy.
Yeah, and it's actually OB, so we're trying not to go deep. Catrina has absolutely pured this both days prior and does so again coming down the stretch. There's
She's
not
within
much-
like about 5 feet, which
Yeah,
is
she is.
great. That's a 300-foot uphill shot.
And I'm throwing that Moonshine Truth and turn it great. I think I pure the line and I hit a late tree, so I'm gonna have more of like a 40-footer.
Sarah taking the outside line, which is more favorable for a sidearm, and she puts it just a bit short of the basket. Not sure if she'll go for the putt or not.
Elaine, like she said, with that Vanish.
I could have put a little bit more turn on it. Hits that leaning branch and leaves me just with no option but to put it up for a 3.
So I'm farther than I thought I was. I'm like 65 feet or so. I realize I absolutely have to make this putt, so I commit fully and miss and leave myself with a tester.
That was a good try, and that was a nice soft putt, so Sarah didn't land very far behind. Look how close Kat was. That was just a wonderful shot.
And with another birdie, she's taken another stroke going into hole 17, and she's pretty much got it wrapped up at this point, especially after I missed that putt.
That's a rare miss.
Yeah, I had a tree kind of like right behind me, so I couldn't really use my legs as much. I just used all arm. I should have maybe reset on the other side or something, but hindsight.
Absolutely. And so I'm just cleaning up for a 3. And so we've got a deuce, 2 3s, and a 4. So that was a real score separator, that hole.
Absolutely, and now Hokom's only 1 stroke behind me, and the lead is now 8 strokes between Kat and I. So Catrina pretty much can go bogey and still wins, and good thing because this hole is very hard. Hole 17, super tight. I would say the tightest tee shot that we have.
Yeah, you have to hit your gap, which looks easy if you're relaxed, but when it's hole 17, you know, there's a lot of thoughts going through your mind, so you have to hit the gap, get up the hill, second shot, get over the hill, hopefully close enough to putt, and it's a downhill putt.
Catrina up first. She's throwing a hyzer flip and just trying to be in the gap. She hyzers out a little bit, but she's still going to have a relatively easy shot to save par.
And Sarah surprised us all. We didn't know that she was going to take a completely different line, so let's see where she lands.
Yeah, she's actually playing up in old holes fairway. With the sidearm, she says that she just is more confident with that angle.
And at this point, you're trying for a miracle. I could see you over-rotated a bit, but you missed far enough to the right that you actually got a great shot.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a branch love, and it kicked me left into kind of where I wanted to land anyway. But, yeah, a little bit of luck there.
And I consider hole 17 the best scramble of my life. I don't know if you saw how close those trees were, but I had to commit fully to throw a full shot through those trees, and it really worked very well.
Yeah, it was amazing. Catrina even commented on how she wanted to pick your brain on that shot because it didn't make sense to her.
Well, I was very annoyed with myself, and sometimes that really loosens up your muscles and you can hit a shot that you might otherwise be a bit nervous about.
Yeah. And I have a weird standstill approach here because my footing is a little bit off put on the
And my
uphill.
footing was even worse than yours.
Yep.
And so I hyzered at an extremely flippy disc, and it stood up and gave me that 35 foot putt.
That was awesome. Catrina from the bushes, she kind of goes with a nose up and hyzer shot and gets a good ways through.
Yep.
Hokom just going with a easy layup there so that she can tap in.
And
As
again,
does Cat.
yeah, Kat doesn't have to do anything at this point. At this point, I had no idea how the second card was doing, but I felt like I really needed to make this downhill putt.
You don't have the UDIS gap or what?
I don't look. I don't want to look.
All right.
I don't think it's helpful to me.
All right.
I think it's
You just
a
play
lot
your
of
game.
pressure.
It's nice.
And if I had known how things were going, I might have played differently. And I'm
Right.
really proud of the way I scrambled for my 4 on that hole.
Absolutely. You played the hole very well.
Sarah was a little bit farther than I think she wanted to be, and you can't see it on camera, but she was a bit downhill, so that was a good solid putt.
And Catrina taps in with a bogey, but like we said, she has a pretty
Comfortable
good
lead.
Yeah, she does. And heading into 18, even though it's a super challenging par 5, she's just, kind of taking her victory lap at this point. And like we said, the NT points are also on the line here. I have Hokom by 19 points and Catrina by, I think, 23 points. So all I have to do is not drop 4 spots on this hole.
That was nice. I was feeling very angst-ridden myself on this hole because I was on the lead card and didn't know how anyone else was doing, but I knew I was not meeting my own expectations.
I'm going up the left side gap this round with my bio defender. It flips a little much and I'm on the right side. Hokom, same thing, but since she's throwing sidearm, when hers flips too much, she's on the left side.
Yeah, I'm using that new Vanish, and I was really happy with this shot. It makes the gap and puts me in a really good position for my next shot.
That's pretty much exactly where you want to be. Great placement shot.
Well, I think where you really want to be is kind of this shot that we're seeing here.
Yep, but most people in our field aren't really doing that, and that's why she's the leader.
Okay, and the name of the game on shot number 2 is keep on the fairway. If you can, get up and around the curve. But at this point, I was just trying to get up the hill, and I was worried about getting caught up in the right side, so I'm pretty happy with where I am.
Like Elaine said, you just want to be on the fairway, so I'm trying to progress up, but, those trees are in the way, so I have to throw a big anhyzer.
Kat choosing a sidearm there, placing her shot very carefully so that she's in the gap.
Absolutely perfect placement to attack this for a birdie.
Now you're choosing to go around to the right rather than that shoot to the left.
Yeah, I don't think I will ever go that way. I don't think it definitely wasn't designed that way, and I know that some players do, but I prefer that right gap, and I think with the downhill, that shot is easily doable. I just grip lock.
I really thought about that left gap.
Did you?
Because I didn't know whether I needed to try for the 4, but in the end I decided that the safer shot was to the right, wide gap.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to stay in the fairway at this point, but I hit a late tree and I get a brutal kick into those tight woods on the right. Katrina, on the other hand, peers it down the fairway, and she gets herself about 40 footer.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So she's got to try for the 4, and Zara's getting advice from her significant other on throwing the overhand shot.
Yeah, I was in there with her, and let me tell you, this was an incredible shot. The woods are so thick here, and as you can see, she had something in her backswing, so it was an awesome shot.
Oh, you had a nice gap there. I
Yeah, I
wasn't
did.
quite sure what you had.
I did. You had to turn it over quite a bit, but yeah, it worked out well.
I was sort of trying to go for it, but that was a long putt.
Yeah, it was. And Hokom from about circle 2's edge, I would say. Just kind of leaves it right under the basket. And Catrina Allen,
Boom!
absolutely beautiful putt to finish off the tournament. That's such a great feeling, especially when you don't even need it, but you just feel that confident to go for it. She said she had goosebumps walking up to that putt.
A 4 is hard to get on this hole.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
3 perfect shots and a good putt.
Absolutely. And anytime you hit your last putt, you're just stoked to walking off the course. I know it's not what we want as far as not winning the tournament, but anytime you can walk off.
You had a good scramble there.
Thank you.
You were not in a great position in those woods. I got my 5, which is good for me.
Good for anybody, really. Par on that one's good.
And
Sarah.
we're done.
Yes, we are. And I think that we're going to have Terry Miller having an interview with Catrina Allen. So you guys stay
Miss
tuned.
Catrina Allen.
Mike Downs with the PDGA is awarding her
Thanks for following us
championship.
all weekend.
And we had some great viewers, including that small girl. Her and her sister followed us 2 rounds, which was really long for small children.
Thank you guys again for watching, and thanks to Terry Miller, the disc golf guy.
All right, quite a battle here, and I'm joined by our champion at the 2018 Ed Hedrick Disc Golf Hall of Fame, presented by Rectac Grills. That's a mouthful, believe it or not. I'd really think about it. This is Catrina Allen. Katrina, 2nd year in a row. How's it feel to come back and defend the title?
It always feels good to go back to back, but kind of had a lull in the season, so this feels even better.
I've been watching quite a bit of golf throughout the year, and it looks like you've somewhat altered your putt. Is that something that you just decided mid-season that you were going to make a change, and is there something you're going to do in the off-season or no?
I decided after actually like 2 days before Delaware, I kind of decided to do that. And I actually putted that way in 2014 for most of the season.
The year you won the World Championships?
Yep, and so I decided to go back to that. It's just I can be aggressive, and it doesn't leave me with a big comebacker. And yeah.
It's been very effective, and that
Yeah.
was really why I was asking about it. I've been watching it, and it's been very effective. We have to rewind just a couple days, and now it's all in the past, but you struggled on hole number 7. Actually, we'll say that the basket struggled with you. I commended you earlier, and I got to say it again, the way you handled yourself, the composure is really the word. How do you dig deep? How do you find that composure to shake that off the way you did?
I kind of had committed to the putt, and so when I stepped up there, I told myself if I'm going to go for it. In practice, I had been there and I'd seen what can happen, and so I just decided that if it rolls, it's just what happens. And maybe I shouldn't have been thinking that because it did roll, but either way, I don't know. I just decided that I wasn't going to let affect my round.
Well, you,
Yeah.
you didn't, and Paige caught you momentarily, we'll say, in round number 2, but otherwise you were pretty much in control throughout this entire weekend. Do you, something about the course, something about your, just your overall confidence? What is it about playing so well here?
I think it's a thrower's course for sure, and I would say if you look at my stats or anything, that's probably my strongest suit in my game. And I finally found out last year when I was practicing that I need to just be aggressive off the tee, because when it pays off really well. And if it doesn't, I still have a sidearm rollers, turnover. I have enough to get up and down for my pars, even if I'm kind of off the fairway. So
You've got plenty of skills, and they were all challenged out here throughout the weekend. I've got to go ahead and I've got to thank all our commentators, along with Matt, who helped do the catch cam for the weekend, the entire IDGC staff and crew, and the PDGA, along with Dynamic Disc, huge supporter of the video blogs throughout the weekend. You've got some supporters and thanks. Go ahead and let's hear those.
oh yeah, I want to thank Prodigy Disc. I want to thank Black Ink Disc and Disc Golf Pins. I want to thank all my friends and family at home who send me messages, and I just thank you for being there through the ups and downs of the season. So,
All right,
thanks.
this is Catrina Allen. We're going to call it. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for supporting via Patreon. We appreciate all of the love and the support. We're going to catch you guys at the next national tour. Again, Catrina Allen, your champion.